Basically, we've not done anything. It's the push that we got, the customer's requirements. We just learned to adapt ourselves to cater to that. Had there not been a push, we'd probably be only printing NCERT books. So that's the push that we really need, because otherwise it's very difficult to get out of a comfort zone. Straight printing, folding, binding, it's the easiest thing one can do. Apparently, the only thing lacking in India is the push. I mean, we really don't have that much of push. That what Harsha said, if we can make all kinds of books, but with whatever demand that we probably can generate, it can only be lasting for 5 days, 10 days. What China has able to do is get the demand to run it 365 days, and that brings in the efficiency, that brings in the quality. It's not rocket science that they are doing, it's just the same thing they are doing every day, again and again, which is missing in at least my operating domain. For us to produce these books at an economical and with a good quality, it's the demand that you have to be trusted that, okay, we can produce these books. And once the demand comes, we will automatically adapt to whatever requirements are there, and then we'll be able to meet to their expectations for sure. But if those demands are not there yet, we again become very complacent. We fall back to the traditional things that we've been doing, and we think about, यार कौन करेगा इतना झंझट का काम, वो क्या होने वाला है उससे. So we need to really escape from that, and for that, I think we have to not buy from China and get from us. Although it may be expensive for the first round, but until and unless that demand doesn't, like same example as Bindwel. There are Chinese binding machines and people can buy those and not yours. So if your demands are not generated, it will be very difficult for you to innovate, keep on innovating and get the quality as what the market really wants. And that's exactly where we are also facing. So, like Apurva sir said, we also exporting to some of these countries in Europe and Brazil. And then when I go to a superstore in Calcutta and see none of the books are there printed by us. And how are we able to export it to all those other countries and still not able to print locally? That's the question I again failed to answer. And to my understanding is the areas where India is able to export is when we are using paper which is locally available, which is a B grade paper, 85, 87, 88 brightness, and we are globally competitive in producing those papers. As when it becomes very expensive, the paper, when you go for A grade papers or art paper, unless you're actually generating new content, it's very difficult to survive against China. It's possible that we can import the paper, provided we get the lead time for it. But I believe the pricing of Indian paper mills is adapted to what you're able to get from outside. For example, FBB board we've started importing from outside. The actual price, FOB price in China is, I think, was $50, which is around 40-45 rupees. And for us at ITC, the prices will be somewhere between 70 to 75 rupees. I don't know if the same gap exists in uncoated paper or things like that, but at least I know for 100% for sure that FBB board, there's no comparison between pricing what they have and what we are getting.
Yeah, see, it's around 60 there versus 75 here.
Yeah. Again, if you are importing raw material and doing it, again, it's not helping the country as such. It's just that overall we need to make ourselves as good as China. And I think the demand is there in the country. It's the fastest growing country. There are a number of readers. Even if it increases by 1% every year, the amount of books that we will be producing additionally is substantially very high. We are able to export really well is when we are using these B grade papers. As soon as we get a requirement for an art paper or A grade paper, I mean, we find it really difficult to compete.
Taking something from what Apu said in terms of where we changed the role was changing from the service provider to becoming a manufacturer.
Yeah. So again, but that I think only 1% of the world's printers can have that mindset.
But you have done some wonderful books when you were challenged.
Again, so when we were pushed, we of course produced some of the. So there's one book that's kept over there. We printed on a both side metallized paper. for all these I thought, I mean, there's no innovation that we are doing in printing. We have done foiling, embossing, spot TV, that we've been doing that for last 10, 15 years. Nothing has happened beyond that. Finally, this was one product that I thought we are decently proud of producing it.
So,
Otherwise, just putting ink on paper.
you made a very risky statement that you need to be pushed. And in front of all the publishers. Be careful.